In the previous class, we discussed few more about the what is that about the Mughal empires. Okay, till Akbar, and the Aurangzeb, those the rulers, how it has started and how ended everything. We learned that. Now, the tradition of the Mughal of the success, how they have get the success, that we are going to learn that. Now here, just focus you. The Mughal did not believe in the rule of primogeniture. 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 Okay, the pronunciation of this one. Primogeniture. So, where the elder son inherited his father's estate. Understand? This is what that. Understand? See, the Mughal did not believe in the rule of primogeniture, where the elder son inherited his father's estate. So they are not following the father's estate. Okay, so instead they followed the Mughal and Taimurian custom of uh, inheritance and divisions of inheritance amongst all the sons there. So they were following that Mughal, followed the Mughal and Timurid custom of custom, that majorly about the Taimur and Mughals, the combined, it is that one they were following that one. Okay, so this is major. So we had seen that there is a photograph, the Taimur is sitting in the front, sorry, in the center, and in the left hand in both the side they are going to follow that, isn't it? So what is that? Babur's great grandfather, father, and Babur the next year, the son of Babur, like that. Akbar, Aurangzeb, Shah Jahan, like that. It go on that. Okay. So this is what the tradition is going to be followed. That is, they are following it. Taimur only they are made in the center of that. The Mughal marriage with the Rajput. Mughal marriage with Rajput. Why they are making that? See, mother of Jahangir was Kanchwaha princess. Kanchwaha princess, daughter of Rajput ruler of Amber. Okay, in a Jaipur. We are going to call her now. Okay, so Pink City, Jaipur, the capital city of Rajasthan. The mother of the Shah Jahan was Rathur princess, daughter of Rajput ruler of Marwa, presently Jodhpur. Okay, so this is very important. You need to understand that. So Shah Jahan was the son of whom? Okay, so just remember that who is the father of that. Okay, so Jodha and Akbar, you know that film Jodha and Akbar. So that in Hindi movie it is Jodha and Akbar. So this is what you need to understand that. So the Mughal emperors usually get married with the Rajput. So that is one of the concept about the Akbar and Jodha. So that is one Hindu princess got married with the Akbar, and how the life and that everything is displayed in the movie, in a Jodha Akbar movie. So that is that it's reflect that to maintain the tradition of the Hindu, and also to make their what is that family to continue be in the strong root of in the land of India. So this is what they were going to do, that in a marriage of the Rajputs. Okay, so Rajput and also apart from the Rajput relationship, they also followed these things. So the Mughal were campaigned constantly against the rulers who refused to accept their authority. See, by getting married with the Rajputs, they were getting the control of that particular area. Okay, so they were having the good relationship with the whole Rajputs, and they were also having that, indirectly they are having the control of that particular Rajput family. Okay, so that is one thing. So and also the Mughal campaign with the constantly against the rulers who refuse to accept their authority, who are going to oppose them, they are defeating, then they are going to get the power there. Okay, this is what that. But also the Mughals became the powerful. Many other rulers also joined them voluntarily. So who are not able to argue, or who are not able to against them, they are going to accept their empire. The Rajputs are also a good example of this one. Many of them married their daughters into the Mughal families and received the high position in that. So this is that what they done, that residents. Okay, so majorly Rajputs. Okay, so they were going to marry with them and they were going to get the better position in the Mughal empire. That one. So this is what the Rajputs did that in a Mughal empire. So, Sisodia Rajput of Mewar, this is one of the important thing. Apart from the other Rajput, these Sisodia Rajput of Mewar. Rajput means it's a traditional dynasty or family. Okay, Rajput family. So, but it is there are different areas they were ruling that. Based on that, they were considered like that. So, Sisodia Rajput of Mewar refused to accept the Mughal authority for a long time. Once defeated, so how long they could do that? Once defeated, however, they were honorably treated by the Mughals, okay, and given their lands and back and assignments, so that everything, they had given that everything, but they defeated and also indirectly they were having the control of that. Okay, this is what the Mughals were doing. That they were not, see, comparing to the Delhi and the Mughals were usually asking them to accept their authority. Who the Mughal emperor is the superior in India. So with this statement, they were adopting the Mughal as a superior or supreme. Then they were ruling as like that only. Okay. So this is only Mughals were following that one. But Delhi Sultans, what they were doing, they were not following. They were just occupying and asking them to do them rudely behaving that. But Mughals also behaving rudely, but they were in favor of that. They were making everything there. So that's why they were occupying the complete India, almost complete India. They occupied in the southern part also. They were having the good relationship, and that's why their area of that it was vast. Okay. So this is why what is the major thing they did that? Majorly they occupied the places, okay, or they were asking them to accept their authority or the power. If they accepted, they were giving all the rights to them only, but the revenue and all they were asking to pay that little amount. They were having the control in other way, so that they were going to get married with them, or they were giving the good position in their court, like that. They were offering something, okay. So that kings were also supporting for that, in favor of that. So like that they were going to get the control of that areas. So the careful balance between the defeating but not also humiliating their opponent enabled the Mughals to extend their influence over many kings and chieftains. This is what I said you. Okay, it is difficult to keep the balance all the time. So sometimes that kingship is changed, then they are going to argue or they are going to be against to that, but they need to manage with that. Okay, so this is what the Mughals usually did that. Okay, comparing the Delhi Sultanates, these were or extended the and also maintained the more years. They balance the complete India. Okay, Mughals. So Mansabdar and Jagirdar. So what is the position? See now, as the empire extended the encompass different region, the Mughals recruited diverse bodies of people. So they were appointing the recruitment means appoint the people for control that one from a small nucleus of Turkey's noble. Okay, from small nucleus of Turkey's noble, Turanis we are going to call that. They expanded to include Iranis, Indian Muslims, Afghans, Rajputs, Marathas and other groups. Same, they are not going to be dependent only for their community. They were also depending on other community also. They were utilizing that. Those joined Mughal service to enroll there as whom? Mansabdars. This is very important. So Mansabdar means what is that? Individually who holds the Mansab. What is the meaning of Mansab? So that is one of the particular area. Okay, that may be taluk or village they want to call that particular area. So meaning of a position or rank. Mansab means it's a position or a rank. So it was a grading. How they are grading like that? Mughal fixed that. One is rank and a salary and military responsibility. These they were going to give for them Mansabdar. What is the duty of that Mansabdar? The Mansabdar's duty was that to give the rank, okay, and what is the salary and military responsibility. These were they were grading that. Okay, so this is under the grading system was given by fixed by the Mughals. Okay. So rank and salary were determined by the numerical value called ZAT. Called ZAT. Okay, what is that? The higher ZAT, the more prestigious was Nobel positions. So that is numerical value called that. Okay, and the salary or rank is going to be called as a ZAT. So the higher the ZAT, the more prestigious was Nobel, and position in the court and large salary. So who are higher position, who are rank in first, so they are going to get more facility or more ZAT. Okay, that's one. So ZAT ranking. So Nobel with a ZAT of 5,000. Nobel with a person who is having that ZAT of 5,000. Okay, were ranked higher than those of 1,000. Okay, so those who are 1,000, so that one. In Akbar reign, there were 29 Mansabdars. How many? 29 with the rank of 5,000. So there were 5,000. In during the Aurangzeb's reign, the number of Mansabdars had increased in 79. Would you mean that expenditures for the state? Yes. So it was expenditure. So the rank was increased, then the salary and every facility is also be increased. It is a burden for the kingdom. So that Mansabdar's military responsibility required him to maintain the specified number of the savar or cavalrymen. Cavalrymen means the horse team. Okay. So the Mansabdars brought his cavalry for review, got them registered, their horses branded, and then received the money to pay them salary. This is another responsibility. Mansabdars received their salary as revenue, assignments called Jagis. So that is very important. Revenue assignments called what? Jagis. Received their salary as revenue assignment is called that. What is that? Jagris. Which Jagirs? Okay. So which were somewhat like Iktas. So we said no that Iktas. But unlike Muktis, most Mansabdars did not actually reside in or administer their Jagir. So this is the important. Unlike the Muktis, most Mansabdars did not actually reside in or administrate their Jagir. So this one. The only had rights to the revenue of their assignments, and which was collected from them by their servants, while the Mansabdars themselves served in some of the part of the country. So they were serving, okay, some of the servants, while Mansabdar themselves served in the some of the parts that, okay, they were collected. Even sometimes the Mansabdars only themselves they are going to collect the taxes. So in most of the part the servants were collecting that. In some of the parts Mansabdars only they were doing that. So this is one of the picture which is showing about the cavalry team. Okay. This is the ZAT. They were collecting that. If they are not going to give that revenue, they were giving the punishment like this. Okay, this one. So this is ZAT and Zamindar. How is that? So the main source of the income available to the Mughal, that is what is the tax usually. Not only for the Mughal, everyone the taxes only. Produce of the peasantry. So that who are the farmers? They need to, whatever they produce, they need to hand it over to the whole that kingdom. So in the most of the parts, peasants paid the taxes through the rural elite, that is in the headman or in a local chieftain So headman, who is an headman of the village or a local chieftain, they are going to collect the taxes from the peasants. So in Mughals used Mughals used one term, that is zamindar, to describe all intermediary, whether they were local headman or village or powerful chieftain. So Mughals used one term. What is that? Zamindar. So still we are going to hear know that word zamindar. So he is zamindar. So zamindar to means describe all intermediary, whether they were local headman of a village or powerful chieftain. So they were going to give that one term, that is zamindar. So they were going to maintain the collection of the taxes or everything that. This is very important. During the Akbar's revenue minister, who is a Todar Mal, okay, one of the famous, what is that? There were 8 ministers in his Akbar team, one of that Birbal, okay. So here Todar Mal is a revenue minister, okay, carried out a careful survey of a crop yield, price, area cultivated of a 10 years. So during the 10 years period, so how much the crops are going to get that, and what is the price and area of cultivation, everything he analyzes. So when he analyzed that in 1550, so 1570 to 1580. So during the 10 years, he analyzed that. Okay. So in during the 10 years, drought or a flood, or the price of that will be vary or decrease or vary, okay, an area of cultivation sometimes it will be vast, sometimes it will be large, sorry, small, like that would be follow that. So on basis of this, so the data and also that tax was fixed on each crops in cash. So fix the cash. What is that? Each provisions was divided into the revenue circles. This is very important. Presently or when next after the Mughal who came, that is British started to rule that. So even the British also implemented this same system only what Mughals were following, that is only they were going to be followed. That too in Akbar period, whatever the revenues or whatever the revenue collections system or administrative systems were followed, the same thing only they maintained British, and also even we are following that revenue districts, we are going to follow that everything that also be followed by the Akbars or the in the Mughals period what they did, that the same thing only we are following now. Okay, so that modified was followed in the British, that modifications have done in the modern period, and after the freedom we are going to be followed that. This is what. So revenue circles with its own schedules of revenue, rates of individual crops. This revenue system was called that ZAT. Okay, so this only called that ZAT. So revenue circle, they made the individual crop how much they are going to get that, based on that they are going to fix the revenue for that. That is only ZAT. Okay. So it was a prevalent of these areas where Mughal administrator could survey the land and keep very careful accounts. Okay. So whatever the revenue or survey they were doing that, based on that they are going to keep the records for that. Everything they are maintaining in one account. Okay. So this was the possible of the provisions of the Gujarat and Bengal. Okay. So this is the majorly they were it was not possible in the provinces of such as Gujarat and Bengal. Why it is not possible? Usually that area it is imbalance of the atmosphere. Sometimes it's going to be drought and sometimes. Okay. So most of the places they did this one. Okay. So in the next class we are going to discuss about the that closer look about the particular empire of the Mughal. Okay. Thank you.